think we're 30 seconds early, but I think we'll go. Good evening, everybody.
Evening.
We appear not to have members of the public, and unless anybody in this group is planning to speak as a member of the public. So we can move on from that. And we are recording. Does anybody want to record in addition to the recording we're doing? No. Apologies. Have you we have any apologies? I don't think I've received. Anyway, we've had the apologies. Are we content with the apologies? Are we content with the reasons for the absence? Yep. Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. Personal and interests. Anything to declare, anybody? Glenn?
So on the grant applications, 252651 I think it is, application 14 from Friends of Honley, I'm a member of the committee, so we're obviously not speaking on votes, and I'll leave the room if you wish me to. And also application 28 from Friends of Honley Library, obviously I'm a trustee for Friends of Honley Library, but appointed by yourselves to do that role, so again, I won't speak on that matter.
Yeah.
And ditto for me with Honley Library and trustee.
Right. Sarah?
Tech application for the dance studio and the film festival. Grant application. Yeah.
Thank you. Lawrence?
Tech on the grant applications, and I'm a volunteer with the food bank, but I don't benefit from it, so I'll just...
I don't think being a volunteer
I agree.
counts. I mean, I'm a volunteer at Honley Library. All I do is put shelf books
No, I
on the
agree.
shelf.
Just declare.
Yeah. Andy?
I've got 3 other grants. Number 10, the Sailing Club, because I'm an ex-member. Number 21, the Civic, because I'm trustee. And 24, the Hurricanes, my granddaughter's a member.
Jenny?
And mine's the tech as well.
The tech. Any more? Jen?
I have got an interest in item 252651, the Sharing Memories Grant. My mother-in-law is a member of the Sharing Memories group, and also regarding the Friends of Honley Library grant, I offered financial support to the Friends through offering a short break of my second home as a silent auction lot.
Thank you. Donna?
I volunteer for Friends of Honley, but just as a
You
volunteer.
keep the litter up outside my house. Thank
Which
you.
you've already known. I thought I'd just make that clear. And also the grant from the police, it was me that advised the police to come here for their grant, and I just wanted, I think that's just another interest and not, it don't mean anything, but I just wanted to make sure
Okay. Thank
it was
you.
clear.
Okay. There was a suggestion that both the Civic and Honley Library should be discussed in private session, I think, in our papers. I thought I'd read it.
No, I think
this
it's,
afternoon.
I think it said that the paperwork might be considered.
Oh, just the supporting paperwork.
Yeah.
Okay. So is there anything that anybody other than those feels should be discussed in private session? No? Good. Minutes. Are you content that the minutes are an accurate record? Hand? Okay, thank you. Grants. Off we go. We'll take them one at a time, I
Well,
guess.
it's evaluations first.
Oh, the evaluation, sorry. Yes, we've received these. We could go through each one separately, but does anybody have any comments on any of them that they feel should be made at this point? Sarah and Andy.
It's the just two application and not application, the evaluation was very thorough. It'd be really nice to know when it's actually open.
Yeah. Yeah. Andy.
Yeah, similarly, I was wondering about perhaps should do a visit when he does it.
Yeah.
I think so. I'd happily do that.
They're very keen to have people go down. Yeah.
So are they having a grand opening?
I don't think we know. I
We'll have to find
I
out.
will inquire. I will inquire.
Could you get a contact?
Yeah, of course. I've got contact.
Just very one small detail, if they've got £1.50 remaining, we don't ask for that back, do
I think it would cost us more. It would cost us something like 25 quid to attempt to read it, if not 50 quid. you know.
I think we said 50. Didn't we?
Yeah.
We agreed 50 last
Sorry.
I think somebody can go by nice slowly with daylight. I think in general we're getting better and better appraisals at the end of these, and some of them are really good. I mean, and you know, a joy to read, entertaining to read, and I encourage the trend because it means we've got stuff to put on the website and everything.
Good progress.
So the applications. Do you want to talk about budget totals and things before we?
Yeah, well, I suppose so. I'll just go through. So you'll have received the list that have been discussed tonight. I suppose. So the amounts we've got are correct. The only thing I would add is that there's £1,000 that needs to come out of the projects and events pot. That's for the rolling grant we approved for Waldale Community Group. So the actual amount you've got to spend is 19,500. The other one is correct, 48,440. So although there is another rolling grant, it was already deducted and placed in the earmark reserve, so that is as stands 48,440. As it says in the form, if you want to consider things for rolling grants, please feel free to propose that as an option. There's probably a few there that might be sensible.
Yeah. Okay.
Can I just say before we look at any of the grants, that because the grants working group, as you know, have been saying that we must try and match them to the priorities that are published on the website. So that I think it's useful to bear that in mind when we're doing these, you know, to see how many of our priorities do they actually match, and those criteria and priorities are what we should be basing our judgment on.
Thank you. So, the first one, Homebridge Cricket Club. Does anybody have any problems, any difficulties, any questions? Damien?
I've got nothing against the project, I just wondered what the benches were made from. I assume they're just normal timber picnic benches. It didn't really say what they were made from now, and at the risk of sounding like we were going to invite to ask for more money, there's reconstituted plastics nowadays, which obviously last longer, give a better usage, and obviously, you know, give a longevity of use for the place. I don't know if
I'm
it
pretty
might be
certain it was timber. I can find it for you.
just on the environmental side, because obviously at the end of this we'll discuss what's environmental, but if you use something which is, you know, which is basically it's recycled plastics and it lasts longer.
I think you raise an interesting point, and it may be a bit late for us to be directing applicants, but I think maybe we should consider some sort of, in the guidelines or the covering letter that goes out, saying people might want to consider.
Essentially for outdoor furniture, it's all. It's just a consideration that they get the longevity and we still have the recycling thrown in, which is it's nice for us.
I'm pretty sure it's wood. It's from John Earnshaw's fencing specialist, so it's going to be wood.
It's sustainable, it's fine, wood's sustainable, but the plastics obviously you get long use.
Maybe we should make applicants aware that we're not automatically against non-wood as long as it's that kind of non-wood, the recycle we use. Donna?
Yeah, can we give these? Can I just say that I would approve that we give it and that we recommend sustainable materials, but also previous ones who've gone for outdoor furniture have ensured that they've got a space for a wheelchair and accessibility next to the picnic tables, and I know they are available.
Yeah, I'm not sure that this didn't do
It
that.
didn't,
Oh, it didn't?
which I just
Right.
thought was an omission, and I
It's just
we
a
can't
nuisance
insist on
clause,
it, but I think it would be a good thing to suggest to them, because they just
Yes.
not thought.
Donna then Andy.
Yeah, what I meant was, if we buy them, gift them, and then
Yeah.
we can claim them back,
Yeah.
that's what I meant.
Yeah, so obviously in that case, we could claim back £216.66 if we gift it to them, so that's,
£216.
if you wanna,
That's it,
if you wanna
I'll
tweak.
hear everybody's questions and then we'll come back to whether we want to gift it to them. Andy?
Yeah, I've nothing against it in principle, except to say we have given them £6,300 in the past in grants, and they have got £15,000 in reserves. It just makes you wonder whether we should be perhaps giving partial rather than full funding.
Joe, did you have a hand up?
I do believe that if we gifted them the benches, that would be of better value for us. And going forward, as long as we can gift things, we could put a little plaque on to say that these were gifted by the Homeburg Parish Council, because sometimes people go, what exactly does the council do? Well, when you sat on that bench having a pint, it will embed it into your skin.
Well, we need
And obviously, if we only bought half of it, we couldn't gift it and we can't claim it back, so we really buy it all.
So, did you all hear that? If we decide not to give them the full amount they've asked for, we can't gift it or claim them back.
Yeah, obviously, so that's why I said just buy it and gift it, and then that'll save us money and get us.
So, Damien?
Just it's on Andy's point now, then I agree with him wholeheartedly that we need to be really careful about how much reserve some of these applicants have in the banks already. That one there, I think potentially that's one to take forward to the working group, so there's some discussion about a criteria when someone's got a glut of excess money, it would seem, and then that can be balanced with their application. It's better to tell at the beginning that we won't accept your application if you've got a fortune in the bank prior to them doing it, rather than turning them down in this council.
Do we want to proceed to vote on their application, or does anybody want to propose giving only part, or what? Joe?
I propose we gift the benches on this occasion, but
I'll second
the
that.
next occasion we possibly look at theirs last. Because we've given them a few times.
Okay, are we, I'm going to ask for a recorded vote for every one of these, please. So, can I see all those in favour?
Rich, do you want me to take names down?
If you don't mind, I mean that's easy. I think everybody's voted for that except for Councillor Wilson. Do you want to get Councillor Wilson's vote?
And one
Oh,
Hugh, are you abstaining or?
No.
Oh, you're still voting?
Sorry, I'm still voting.
So is it, am I right in thinking it's everybody but Andy? Yes, and Andy's an abstention. Okay, next grant, Huddersfield Sailing Club. Do we, hang on, before you go Andy, do we need Andy to leave, or do we need him just not to vote?
We always said that in these meetings that people would leave, didn't we? And we've had people
It's
leave
true,
before.
you're right, except when they're appointed by us to be trustees. Okay, Huddersfield Sailing Club. Anybody passionately for, passionately against Damien?
I've read the application and it does seem like it's a worthy cause for the grant. Again, there are some concerns with potentially how much they have in reserves. But I've noted from the much of a historic application for ourselves and that one there, they're looking at the facilities being for disabled as well, which we can only encourage, and host some disabled events there. So I don't see a person from my perspective any problem with that.
Okay, anybody want to say anything further? So I propose Mary.
Well, just on reserves, I'm like Jamie and this group, they've got loads of reserves, but I think if they've actually specified what the reserves are for, then I think that's probably fairly reasonable.
But that chicken out, I agree.
That's just something to take to the
If they can
grants.
show that those reserves are required for their running costs, and we can't steal that from them and make them bankrupt, I get that altogether. But I do think that we should bear in mind if they're just accumulating funds and funds.
Yeah. So are we, will somebody propose that we,
I propose that we give the full grant.
Second.
and to gift it?
If it cannot be done, can we give that
Yeah.
money or is it?
Well, it can, I mean, I will have to go to them and basically ask them for costings of whatever's
can I
involved.
propose that after Rich has made the appropriate inquiries, if it is possible to give
Yeah,
it to them,
I think
that
that's
we give
fair
them
enough,
full
yeah.
value.
So we're voting on gifting the full amount if that's possible, or giving the full amount if gifting it isn't possible. All those, again, I want a recovery grant. All those in favour? Is that everybody?
Yeah.
Yes. So it's everybody except Andy who isn't in the room.
We've done Sailing Club.
Okay, Amazon Village Hall. Questions, concerns, points to raise? Nothing. Andy?
Previous grants, £10,000. I've got nearly 38,000 in reserves. I would have thought that I would expect them to seek funding from other people as well.
Anybody got any comments
So,
on that?
obviously you've read that one, I've read that thoroughly there, but is it for the full value of the works, that one, they're not trying to raise any other funds? I'm not tasking you with a job right now, it's just that we need
Selection
to.
extent.
Sorry.
I believe so, let me just have a quick look.
No, it's not.
I wouldn't think it was. That wouldn't pay for new steps to the wall.
It's a percentage and they are providing some funding.
This is the one where they've gone into a much bigger project, isn't it?
How does that set against their reserves and that's what I'm saying, did that knock the reserves significantly back?
The full cost is 29,000. I can't remember what their reserves are.
Reserves are 37,000.
Can I suggest that we approve the grant on the basis that it pays for a percentage of the work, say for example the labour towards something, and then we're able to claim the VAT back if the contract is VAT registered?
It's part of the project.
Yeah.
No, you can break invoices down, can't you?
I think we need to be a bit. I mean, whilst I do want to get all of that back, I can. I don't want to end up with a clerking team having half a day's work to do every time we.
Well, I appreciate that, but at the end of the day, this is a lot of that over the whole amount of the projects, and most tradesmen are VAT registered,
Yeah.
aren't they?
Yeah.
So if we're saying to them, we will give you the 3,000, it's a very specific amount of money. I'm imagining it is like an electrical cost or something. All they have to do is ask the electrician or the plumber to bill us.
But again, we've got to pay for the whole of a thing.
Yeah.
It's got to be an invoice, it's got to be addressed to the parish council, and it's got to be for the
Yeah,
whole
so if it's-
of a service or item or whatever.
Yeah, so I'm saying if it's an electrician or a plumber or a
Yeah.
plasterer, then we can pay that, can't we?
I'm just making the point that that might not cover that.
No, but if it doesn't, does it? But
We don't know what it's for, so it could be we can reclaim it, and it could be that we couldn't.
Andy, then Damien.
I just think there's something a little bit strange about the way they've presented this. I think we see it in other grants as well, where the actual project is replacing the steps for 3,640, but they've sort of lumped it into another project which happens to come out at 29. Well, that seems a little bit odd to me. The project is replace the steps at 3,640. They're not asking for money for anything else.
I mean, it could be that
It makes
they're
it
having
look
they're spending a lot with the same person to do A, B, C, D, and E, and they're just asking us for the money for E.
They don't make that very clear, do they?
Jenny, no, sorry, Damien, then Jenny.
I was just going to ask Rich if these people would be willing to provide with an invoice specifically. It's something we could just say. It might even form part of the grant application in the future for the grant working group. could you get an invoice specifically for that purpose? So we could reduce obviously the clerk and staff time. On your application, if you're having this one there, is it a sole item? Can you provide a quote or an invoice for that one there? And then if it will assist us with our tax value, we'll look at that.
I think if you remember when we decided to go down the route of offering the gifting and the VAT and reclaiming the VAT, we weren't going to publicise it greatly. We were just going to see what we got.
Yeah.
And I suppose this is seeing what we got. And
I
what
mean,
we can now do.
we need to be very careful that we don't end up falling into a fiddle where a plumber invents an invoice for 3,652 or whatever it is, so that it can be sent to us, and it turns out to be diddling as part of something else. I mean,
You go to prison for back fraud, there's no
Well,
way
yes.
anybody normally.
yes, but we would go to prison for it as well. So I think we need to be very careful. I mean, we need to trust Rich to kind of sound people out and see how it goes, but we've got to be very careful not to make it a temptation to create an invoice.
I mean,
Put it that way.
It's obviously easier when we're buying things.
Yeah.
You know, like the benches, we know how much the VAT's going to be. With the toilets, there's going to be aspects of that, but we know where the VAT's going to be. But this feels slightly more confused.
Yeah. Sarah, then Mary.
Does this conversation about VAT and claim VAT suggest that we ought to be looking at whether it's possible to put something in our advice about our ability, and that being looked on, I wouldn't say favourably, but that would be part of the consideration.
Well, yeah,
Maybe that's something the grants committee can look
yeah,
at.
but what as Rich just said, at the moment we're just seeing how it goes. We
Yeah,
don't want
sure.
to change the
No,
advice
I
just
didn't
yet.
mean now.
But yeah, no, you're right. It should, if there is an item and we could buy it and give it to you, let us do that, because the parish council will be much better off.
I would propose that the grants committee has a look at that issue.
Mary.
I mean, I think it's quite simple really, isn't it? Because this is about replacing the steps. I don't know where that figure from 29,000 came from. And they're obviously not applying elsewhere for the project. So, I mean, I would suggest that we give them that money, and just for that really, it's straightforward and reclaim get the invoice and reclaim.
Okay. Are we happy? Do we have a second of that proposal?
I'll second it.
Okay, recorded, please. All those in favour?
Well, if they don't replace the steps, someone falls and breaks their hip, will only whinge.
Okay.
All those against?
Hang on, I'm still writing down names.
Sorry, keep your hands up. It's Mary, Jenny and Hugh.
Right, okay. So I've got councillors Bailey, Whitelaw, Lyles, Turkby, Morgan, Osborne, Holmes and Blackaddown. That's in favour, is that correct?
Yep.
And me, if I
Oh,
can.
yeah, sorry.
You do count, Chair.
Well, I don't know, I never know with the chairs though, whether you're supposed to save it up for making the decision, or whether you use it.
You get an extra
You
one.
get two votes.
All those against?
One.
One.
Okay.
And the abstentions? 3.
4.
3.
Councillor.
Oh, 4, sorry, Isaac. I've got it back to you.
Everybody going against the grain there.
Thank you.
Get shot blood for that.
Okay, Red Squirrel Alliance. I mean, that's clearly carried. The Red Squirrel Alliance. Anybody got points to raise about the Red Squirrel Alliance? Several people. Are you going to mine it like this, or are you going to speak?
Gazebo for the
Okay, Mary, then Jenny, and then whoever else wants to. Mary?
I thought this application was lacking in detail, really. Not really sure what we're going to do with the money, so I would suggest that perhaps we maybe advise them that and suggest perhaps if they want to reapply for the next round, but it's not really clear how much work they're going to do in the Home Valley or who they're going to do it with, or exactly more or less what they're going to do.
Pious hopes at
So,
the moment.
yeah, so I would suggest we ask them if they want to reapply with more detail. I don't feel happy about giving them money on the basis of that application.
Jenny?
I thought they did give some details about buying a gazebo and being at various public events, etc. But my question really was why it was in assets rather than in projects and events.
It's a physical thing.
It's an asset.
It's an asset.
It's an asset for them.
And we come from the balance.
Projects sometimes we buy the things.
Well, it seems sensible given that there's more money in that pot.
I know, but they're only asking for 1,100.
That's what I've only.
Oh, okay, right. But it's still, it will be within the project's budget.
I second.
Hang on, there's several people to speak.
I personally think it's a waste of money. There's no red squirrels in West Yorkshire. I think North Yorkshire could be.
That's the point.
There's never going to be red squirrels in.
Okay, Donna, then Joe, then Damien.
Would this actually cover the cost of the gazebo? Because it says part, doesn't it, towards. I'm just thinking that if it covers the whole cost of the gazebo, then why don't we just buy them a gazebo? Would be my
Joe, you're next.
I'm not sure what if they've got a gazebo.
Why are you getting that as a part of the gazebo?
I didn't say
I looked at
Damien,
this.
can we have some of Damien?
So I read about the red squirrel allowance on site, and no, there aren't many. There are a few. There have been never been healthy red squirrels, but there aren't many red squirrels. And that's the whole point. The point of the red squirrel allowance is a conservation project to encourage the red squirrels back and to develop that little community of creatures back into the area. So it seems to be clear what they want. They're after a gazebo. And so do we want to support the saviour of red squirrels with a gazebo? That's about it.
So, sorry.
This is a VAT one as well, isn't it?
Yeah, but we come on to the VAT. Glenn?
Can I suggest that, as we said in the first place, we go back with some more information, because this application's got bits overwritten, bits scrubbed out. Be more clear about what you're going to do. My argument would be, at this point in time, if we're buying a gazebo, what shows are they going to take it to? Because they won't be in it till next year. So I think if they came back in February with a more detailed application, we can look at it properly then. Because if we're buying a gazebo, then, you know, I'm sure they're all finishing it, so there won't be anything happening until next May time anyway.
Right. Okay, so we need to consider Mary's suggestion before we consider the amount and whether it's VAT, that we return it to them and say we really need more detail about your objectives, what you're going to do, when you're going to do it, and all that sort of thing. Can I see all those in favour of deferring and asking for further details? Okay, that's everybody. Thank you.
Chair, can I just say, added to that though, this could be a really good candidate for our big event, which
Yes.
is about our valley, our future. And although we're struggling a bit for space, I think I'd still like us to consider offering, them a space.
No gazebo.
And if we can't give them a space, we'll have to give them a gazebo so they can go outside. Okay, so that's, then the next one is Home First Tech. Who needs to leave for Home First Tech?
Is that what you went at?
If you enjoy it. You've got 5 minutes, Sarah.
Maybe we should have an arrangement with them to have drinks lined up on the bar for people who go out
We need to
very
do this
quick.
when wine club's on.
Just go and join them.
Yeah.
Right, the tech application for 4,000 towards development of the dance studio. I think it's broader than that, but that's specifically what they're saying. Do we have comments, queries, questions? Donna?
I've got a question. Have we done a dance studio before? I'm pretty.
We refused it last time.
Oh,
It's the
right,
same-
okay.
It's the same
It's the same
application,
application. Right.
Some variances.
Right, sorry, that-
refused.
Would you
That
let the clerk finish before you interrupt?
That answers that one. I knew I'd seen it somewhere, that were all, and I just got muddled up.
Andy?
Similar comments to before, about nearly £32,000 in grants from us, and that's just the direct ones, and we get all the indirect as well. There's £30,000 in reserves. I don't think it's a particularly strong case personally.
Any other comments? Mary?
Well, I'd like to spot you, they have had a lot of money, but then they do actually do a great deal of work, and they are providing service to groups groups of people and individuals that other services or other groups don't reach. So, and I used to do Pilates in that studio, which is my only connection really with the tech, and it was freezing cold, I have to say. So I think the point about the installation is well made, and then there's also the sound installation as well. So it is a multi-use space. So I think calling it a dance studio or whatever is selling it a bit short, really,
Yes, I think
because it's obviously also used by the outlookers, the sightless people, and the easy access with wheelchairs. And it is a large space which at the moment is not being well used, because frankly it's not a very welcoming space at the moment. So it's used by playgroups from the suburbs. So it's a wide range of clientele and groups that are using it. So I would want to support it.
Just to say, we've also got a rather large dance space here in the Civic, and that one there, and it won't cost us anyone. People can have facilities and use of this one, they're quite cheap for ourselves. We try to promote that, so we've got Civic Hall built for dance spaces.
I move to refuse.
Okay, well, let's vote on all those in favour, and I want to record all those in favour of this application, and supporting this application.
So I've got councillors Colling, Morgan, Osborne and Blacker.
All those against?
I've got councillors Lyles, Brooke, Bellamy, Kirkby and Davis. And Wilson.
I'm bound.
And Barney.
And Isaac. Thank you. That's refused. And Friends of Homley. Oh, can we invite them back in?
I'll tell them to come back in when I go out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm out. You're back in now.
Just to check, as volunteer for Friends of Only, am I still alright to stay?
I think you should stay.
Right.
I think the fact that you pick up litter is not a vested interest.
I know it's more to just pick up litter.
I know you do. Where are we? I'm trying to, yes, 1,500 towards the seasonal planting. Anybody got comments to make, queries to raise?
Did we not do this seasonal planting last time? Because it was pissing
We've done
down and we
it.
were
We've done
doing
it.
Just keep coming around.
We've done it several- we've done it several-
Seasons come, you're a farmer.
I agree.
Seasons come round twice a year.
I appreciate that. All I'm saying is, can we not get some perennials like will come back up?
There is a lot of perennials.
Yeah, there is.
I just thought I would question them. Sure, we have on this morning. Not saying I'm against you, I'm just saying.
Can I just ask a question?
Yeah.
Could this be actually a rolling grant?
I was
Because I
gonna
was
say
thinking
that.
of that.
Yes. Yeah, I think we should consider it as a
It
rolling.
is a good, it's nice.
But it, as you say, it comes round twice a year every year, so.
Once a year.
And how much?
Well, no, so spring, no, it
No,
doesn't.
it
It's up in the winter and the
is
spring.
spring, because I said, why do you want to
It's
plant?
twice
It's
a year.
absolutely pissing me down, and we've had no rain for the rest of the summer.
It is twice a year, they do 2 plant.
Just to declare having planted
Okay, so what do we do to make it a rolling?
Well, you need to vote on it.
Oh, right.
You need to vote on it as a.
Shall we vote on giving them the money and then
Yeah.
vote? Right, oh, so all those in favour of giving them the money they've asked for in this grant? That looks like everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. All those in favour of making it a rolling grant?
It does come every 6 months.
So it's
Whether that be 6 monthly or annual, that looks like everybody is.
So there's obviously, we're near the end of the council term, so it'll only be for 2 years, and this year.
Yes, the new council may change that. Oh, yeah.
I'm not really.
Welcome back.
yeah, what do
And then, for your information, Glenn, we voted to make that a rolling.
Okay.
The next one is Hepworth Community Association.
So this you'll remember is one that I got the application, a revised application in late, so I sent that out to you separately. So they're actually asked for 2,500, and there was more detail to the application. So it's 2,500 they're asking for.
Right.
Can I comment on this about heat pumps? As somebody who resells heat pumps, I've not sold them this. In fact, I've spoken to them about it. That is an exceptionally small amount of money towards a heat pump, and I think that it's a community room that everybody uses for birthdays and christenings, and they do all sorts of village events in it. It's a good community space. They've come for roofing things previously, but they are investing in the building and trying to keep it into quite a small community. It is, quite a good use space. The couple who run it for free. All the volunteers look after it. I think we should approve this grant. It's in the values. It's renewable. It's not a lot of money. They've not come with an absolute ridiculous ask. I think we should approve it.
Thank you. Any further comments? Okay. All those in favour of that looks unanimous to me.
Yep.
West Yorkshire Police, 4,600 for a radar speed detection gun. Donna?
Yeah, I think this is a really good idea, to be honest. So that, it sorts out how many complaints do we all get about speeding traffic and all the rest of it. So I would propose that we actually do buy them this, and if we bought them this, I'm sure we'd be able to actually claim the VAT.
No, but
Sarah,
we can't claim the VAT back. The VAT's already taken out.
Oh, right, okay,
Yeah,
that's
public
without
service.
that. Oh, well,
Public service.
Damien, Sarah, Lawrence.
Again, I agree with Donna on that one there. I have spoken to Sarah and him, and there's no connection between he and I on a different issue, but they said that obviously they were doing some rural patrols. It's their rural teams which will be responsible for using this one. They've got 2 trained members of staff, and unfortunately their current equipment, they can't buy new battery packs for it. So as much as they've got the trained staff, they can't actually do the patrols they need to do with that one there. And they did go out to the ward councillors with that one there. Some of us ward councillors offered to contribute the funds, which would have negated this evening's conversation, but other people were reluctant to do so. So I still support it, and potentially will support it in future financially as well.
Sarah?
It's It's a question really about principle, I think. Whether we're in the business of funding public services, of which the police is one. So do we then fund, I mean, it's a genuine question. And I know that there's perhaps the precedent having bought defibrillators for help. It's sort of where do you draw the line? Are we going to start buying fire engines? Do you know what I mean? It's that sort of public community divide, if you like. I'm quite happy to be persuaded that this is something that we as a parish council should be doing, but I'd like to hear the arguments for funding public services.
Make sure it isn't the thin end of the wedge. I've got Lawrence, Andy, Joe, then you, Mary as well.
Everybody.
Right, so, is there anybody who doesn't want to speak? Lawrence.
I'm really against this. I mean, as has been said in previous meetings, we're talking about double taxation here. Our local residents are already paying
A police precept.
Correct. I know that we funded the SID, and you know we've done that. Okay, but yeah, the thin end of the wedge. I'm sorry. Yeah, thanks.
I think you were next.
I don't know, was it? Okay.
Well, you can be. Well, I'll just come up the table.
I agree. Speak.
I support it. I think it's a great thing for us to do, and I think it also look on social media as well. Say we've supported this, we've paid for it, it's for your benefit as our electorate. We're doing our bit to keep you safe, keep our roads safe, and supporting the police in the.
Jenny.
Well, I think the working party spent quite a long time writing guidelines as to what kind of grants, and I think sticking to the criteria is important. And one of the things we said that we shouldn't be funding things that are already usually out of funds, taxation elsewhere, statutory bodies. So I think, much as I think it sounds excellent, and I really wish the police were doing it, I want the police to be doing it, but I want the police to be paying for it.
Were you?
Yeah, I think it's a great shame that we're in a position where we're being asked for this, but, and it was in the press now last week, the police are saying they don't get a penny from any of the fines that they generate, so they have to pay the costs of doing this, they don't get anything back. And here we are, we've got police that are available to use the equipment, with no equipment. And we know that locally, it's a big problem, and the public are continually saying, you know, we've got three issues. And I think it fits in with our overall sort of approach where we funded the SIDS. It's a similar thing to me. So I'd like to support it. And I realise it doesn't fit with the guidelines, but there are guidelines.
They are guidelines, yes, they are.
I mean, again, I feel this is probably one that we maybe need to defer, and I think to support a public sector organisation like the police is certainly not within the guidelines. I mean, we don't give money to school. We know schools are strapped for cash. We don't give money to schools. I feel like this is something that maybe we need to refer to the working party on grants. Haven't considered that. It's the first time this has come up, and it would represent a considerable departure. I mean, it's interesting that other parish councils are actually supporting this, but there is another round of grants to come, of course.
I would just say, we're referring it to the working group. I think the working group knows what it thinks about this. I mean, there are quite clear guidelines from the working group. We can defer the vote, but I don't think we need to send more back to the working group. It's got enough to do. Donna?
Yeah, I mean, I would support this, and I quite agree with what Councillor Davis has just said. I think it would look good on the parish council, to be honest. I mean, as ward councillors, we've just supported a thing called Operation Trimberg, which is also regarding the 5 fatal offences. So, you know, as Kirklees ward councillors, we are already giving funds for that. And I just think that this, you know, it helps with that as well. It covers the whole of the parish area, and I just think, you know, it would look favourable on the parish council. At least then people can see, you know, what we are doing, and we are actually trying. It's a safety thing.
The data from the SIDS has told us regularly that people drive past schools at 60 miles an hour. The data from the SIDS is there to say that people are knocked down outside schools. The data from the SIDS suggests, I witnessed someone being knocked down in April on CCTV, police couldn't do anything, couldn't prove that they were speeding, even though clearly they were, because there is no data there. We have a massive speeding issue in the Home Valley. We are a cut through to Manchester, Leeds, Bradford, Barnsley and Sheffield. You know, we have serious, narrow rural roads. If there was occasionally a speed trap at the bottom of New Mill like there used to be, you know, then people would slow down. I don't really think it's not that they ever come asking for things. They are never consistently begging. This was we don't have a speed trap. We know the SIDS give us the evidence. That is pretty disgusting about people speeding. We have an opportunity to do something.
Thank you, Glenn.
I guess my only question, and I can absolutely see the need for it. The organisation, West Yorkshire Police, Kirklees Rural Neighbourhood Policing Team, are we absolutely sure this thing is going to stay in Home Valley and it's not going to go anywhere else?
No, we're not.
Because that'd be my concern, is it goes and then all of a sudden it's in Batley or something, which isn't going to benefit the Home Valley at all. And I guess that'd be my only concern, is can they definitely say the only place it's going to be used is in the Home Valley?
You can gift it and make sure it doesn't go out of that area. You can do that with stuff like this, because we used to do it with the ambulance service.
Right.
But we can't go over it, that, I think.
Damien?
From my experience, I've been involved, but once it's been allocated to a station, it's part of their equipment, that's it.
I guess that's the question.
It'll be on their inventory and they'll have to answer to it, and any repairs will get sent back to that station. So it becomes part of their equipment there. If they were to land out somewhere else they would require an awful lot of documentation. It would have to be recalibrated upon the move and that one there, which is just too expensive.
Okay.
So they keep those in
Thank
there.
you. Did you want?
No, it's...
You were waving at him,
Yeah.
right? Alison?
I just feel a little bit uneasy about this, because this is about someone asking you to fund the rivets for a manufacturing company. Surely the police force can fund its own speed camera. I mean, if they can't, it's really sad. But it just seemed a bit out of kilter that they can't really out-of-date speed gun.
Okay, I think we might move to a vote. Do we want to vote on, do you want to propose deferring it, or do you want to? So we need to vote on deferring it first. So there's a proposal to defer it, is there a seconder? There's a seconder. All those in favour of deferring this? 2. Mary and Sarah, it was. Okay, so we move to voting on the grant itself. All those in favour of awarding this?
So I've got councillors Lyles, Brooke, Bellamy, Davies, Wilson and Barnett.
Okay, all those against?
Casting vote.
Casting vote.
You've got a casting vote.
So it's you to decide.
Then is that the same number?
Hang on. So against, I've got councillors Bailey, Morgan, Osborne, Holmes, Blacker and Colling. There's abstentions.
Abstentions, 2 abstentions, councillors Kirkby and White. So is it count as the chair's
No.
vote?
Yeah,
It is.
I vote against. Honley Business Association, brackets for Christmas trees. Without council agreeing to complain about the number of lights.
No, the number of trees.
Can I just say, it's already been approved by service provision?
No, that was trees.
That was for the trees.
This is for the brackets.
This is for the brackets.
Put
The
on
trees
the
are already in there though, aren't they? Oh, right, okay.
The trees,
Oh, the
try as we might, we haven't persuaded them to levitate yet. So does anybody have any comments, concerns? Andy, then Lauren.
At the risk of repeating myself, about 18 and nearly £18,500 in previous grants, £30,000 in reserves, and asking for another 1250.
Okay, Lauren?
I think the question that Jenny just asked actually is relevant here. We haven't considered it, but it is their choice. We are giving funding already for Christmas decorations, and I think it's a local choice as to how you use that money, or how you split that money. So I will be voting against.
Joe?
Can I just say that I am all for the festivities, but I don't agree with cutting trees down to put them on little brackets. It's not really very environmentally friendly. I just think that they're asking us to create some brackets made out of metal, sprayed with paint, made in a high energy consuming thing is something that falls in line with us, so I would like to move to refuse, please.
Any further speakers? Mary?
Well, having voted for the lights, it seems a bit illogical not to vote.
For something to hang them on.
I didn't vote for the lights.
Okay, I think we'll move to a vote, if you're happy with that. All those in favour of giving this money to Honley Business Association for brackets? All those in favour?
Do you want this to be a recorded vote?
Yes, please.
So I've got councillors Kirkby, Morgan, Blacker and Collins.
All those against?
And against, I've got councillors Bailey, Whitelaw, Lyles, Brooke, Davis and Wilson.
Abstentions?
And abstentions, councillors Barnett, Bellamy and Osborne.
Thank you. So that's refused. That's the end of applause.
No, that's the end of the assets.
Oh, right. I know I'm famous for short meetings. Right, sharing memories. Anybody anything to say? Should we move straight to a grant?
Can I just ask, where do they actually have these sharing memories event meetings? Whatever. Here? Phoenix. Ah, right, okay. I just wondered.
Are we ready to, Andy?
Just on a similar point, it might possibly be worth asking them to point that out in future, all applicants.
Yeah.
Where are the events actually held?
Yes, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Jennifer?
I just say that I think what I think is wonderful about this group is that they bring so many disparate groups together, bringing other young people together. And usually they are usually very successful in doing something that is so beneficial to the community. So I would support it.
Joe?
Can I ask, on this grant while we're paying for taxis?
For people with
Because they're special needs, quite a lot.
Right, okay, right. Just,
Okay, all those in favour?
So I've got councillors Barnett, Whitelaw, Kirkby, Morgan, Osborne, Holmes, Wilson, Blacker and Collin.
All those against? Abstentions?
I've got councillors Bailey, Lyles, Brooke, Bellamy and Davis.
Okay, thank you very much. The food bank, £1,500. Anybody want to say anything, or do we want to move straight to a vote? Okay, yeah.
can I say something about this food bank? Have we got some, did you say you volunteer with the food bank? Who, was it you,
Lawrence.
Lawrence, so you know the food bank, this is just a question.
No
because-
expert, I just do some driving for it.
Right. Well, you do more than me, and I do donate to them, but I'm going to ask you this question. So the food bank, do they just survive on donations and then use money and go to like the co-op for the extra food? What do they do?
I think it's, my understanding is it's the other way around actually. The majority of what's given comes from the local supermarkets.
Yeah.
And mostly that sort of, stuff that's going out the
Yeah,
date.
you put stuff in a basket.
Yeah, so there's literally vans turning up with stuff. I think, that's literally from the supermarket, not from people donating. Sorry?
It's both. It's both. It's when I donate and when they get.
Yes, but the bulk, as I say, as I understand it, comes from what the supermarket gives because it's going out of date and so on.
Because, I don't know, there's a shop at Tankersley called Company Shop that's now owned by Biffa, and they actually have a special rate for food banks. So the food bank can apply, I'll give you the information, and you can pass it on.
This food bank have their supplier is over Manchester way. I assume they're chosen because of when they have to buy. They've got that was true
When you
18 months ago. It may not be true now, but I assume they go there because they get a good deal.
Yeah, because when I went the other week to the company shop or something, that they had a food bank in and they literally went out with like 8 trolleys. And I was like, I wonder if those food being
Okay, shall we move to a vote?
Can I just make the point that I put the amount wrong? So they've actually asked for 1,200, not 1,500. It says 1,500.
Right.
Yeah, on the,
Okay, so it's 300 less than we thought.
it's actually 1,200 on the application.
All those in favour of giving the 1,200 to the food bank?
Everyone except Councillor Morgan? Correct? Yeah.
All those against? Abstention. Thank you. The travel project for environmental projects, Kirklees. Travel project. Questions, queries, statements? Lawrence?
I know quite a bit about this particular project because I've kind of been involved with it for about a year, this specific walks by bus, because they were trying to think them up, and one of the volunteers that wrote one of the routes and so on. And I'm really torn as to whether it's I like the idea, and I have invited them very much to link in with a wider project in terms of marketing, uses of local buses and so on, and I think that offer is still open. I'm not very comfortable, to be honest, with giving this full amount to them because, you know, this could have been done some time ago. It's been going on for a year. The place has been staffed and so on. I know that they're coming out of that particular location. Sorry, I'm not being entirely clear, but I'm not comfortable.
You've got an uneasy feeling in your water.
I wouldn't want to get too personal there, but yeah.
Joe?
Go boxes to that one. So, like, basically, for me, I'm very uncomfortable with this. They had an opportunity in Home Fair for a year. They've come out of an environment which we supported them in. It's cost us as a parish the whole experience. I am not happy with this grant application at all. I'm not comfortable with it.
Jenny, then Donna?
I want to say first that it hasn't cost us anything. We benefited hugely from the rent that they paid us for a building that we didn't get up to scratch that as we had promised them. But also they did find out quite reasonably that they were better, even though they had used that as a base where they stored things and where they started walks from there regularly, they now do feel that being out in the community rather than in a base is more beneficial. So they've learned a lot from actually being based there. And they actually, you know, they've done a lot. They've hired the civic, even when they have that space to do wheelchair lessons and, you know, encourage people to be more active in wheelchairs. So overall, I do think it is worth supporting. I think they've, it's a fair, well, yes. Yeah, I do. I think that they're encouraging people to use wheelchairs and etc. on walks and to live with public transport. Very much, and I always think we should stick to our criteria, and I think that very much falls into the priorities that we've set.
Thank you. Donna, then Mary?
Yeah, I'm uncomfortable with this one. Basically, there's more or less the same reasons that Joanne honestly both said. You know, they've had plenty of time. They could have done this as well, and that really does make me uncomfortable with it. So, to be honest,
they have been doing many other things.
Sorry. So, and yeah, I know that they've done other things. I have seen them about this, that, and the other. But it, like I say, it's just I don't know. I can't support this. I think
Mary?
it's not it
I
right.
mean, I think, you know, we need to look at what the project is really, rather perhaps than the person, the group that's doing it. But I think this would be an extremely valuable piece of work. I think it would be really useful. I mean, encourage people to use the buses and walk from the buses, and we certainly need more people to use the buses, particularly the H buses. And if yeah, I agree. It does seem odd that they've been there for a year and nothing's happened. But if we give them a grant, then they're actually going to have to do this, aren't they? You know, it will mean that they have a, you know, relatively limited time to do it. So I think it's a great project. I think it's something that's needed here. So I would vote for it. But we need to make sure that it is delivered in a reasonable time if we can.
Damien?
Just on the issues of previous grants and on that, I think it's not the group that have the cargo bike. Did they get the cargo bike?
Yeah, they
did. £7,000 because I've never seen it.
It's always an event,
Is it?
yeah.
I've never seen it on the streets of Hull.
Anybody else wanting to speak?
Could I move an amendment if that's
Yes.
if that's okay? What I'd like to do is to propose a smaller amount than they're asking for, probably half of what they're asking for, but also offer them the opportunity to link in with the project that we're now pursuing, which is about marketing the use of buses locally, which will, I think will achieve synergies for them and also cost savings.
Okay, we have a proposal. Joe?
Can I adjust the amendment? I would like a deadline. I would like a deadline. I would like an 8-month deadline.
Are you happy with having a deadline in your amendment?
We can have a deadline, yes. I mean, we've got a deadline in terms of our project. Obviously, if we're dependent on them, I'm not quite sure how we manage that. If it's on them,
Yeah, it's on them. It's not on you.
Yeah, it's on them to deliver. I've got no problem with that.
Yeah. Okay. So the amendment, which we vote on first, is that we give them half the amount and add a deadline to when they have to deliver. So,
But also the caveat that it must be, the work must be tied in with.
yes.
Well, it's an offer, you know, I think that's
Obviously,
the only way.
requirements.
Yeah, but if they do it-
So, as I understand it, the amendment is, we give them half, we marry them to the project that's going on, and we set a deadline.
Yeah.
All those in favour of the amendment? I think that's everybody but Donna, isn't it? Oh no, everybody but Donna and Damien.
You just vote on the amendment.
Harry, it's your
Sorry, yes, yes,
Do you want to try it easy?
Just saying.
Will you stop kicking it?
You can't reach me if you don't.
So I've got councillors Morgan, Kirkby, Lyles, Whitelaw, Bailey, Davis, Osborne, Holmes, Wilson, Blacker, Colin.
Right, all those against?
Says on it.
Did you have your hand
Yeah, I
up?
did.
Thanks.
All those against? 2, 3, 4. No. All those against, put their hands up in the air.
Against the amendment.
Right, so that's
Two.
councillors Bellamy and councillor Brooke.
Abstentions? No. Thank you. So we give them
Yeah.
half.
Oh,
Oh, sorry.
I'd just like to make a general point, which is about deadlines, because a lot of grant applications have a statement on it when would be the end of the project, and obviously we don't have it on our form, so maybe for projects, obviously not building, because you're not the capital, because you're in the hands of the builder developers, but for projects, I think it would be quite useful to have a deadline by which they would.
That should go to the working group.
Yeah, that's
So was the deadline on that 8 months that we just?
Yes.
Yes.
8 months, yeah. So that's £748.50, Dylan.
Okay, the next one, Home Fair Film Festival. 1,500 towards venue hire. Andy?
I've declared an interest in so much as I'm a civic trustee, but I believe I've got a dispensation that lets me stay here.
Oh, because they pay it to the civic, I'm with you. Yeah. So you can stay and you can speak, but you can't vote. Anybody want to speak?
Really?
It's because he's a civic member of the parish.
Yes, he's got a dispensation.
I wasn't against that, I was just on this particular.
Because the funding.
Well, because this money will be spent in the civic.
Civic,
And elsewhere.
because they hire the room, don't they?
Actually, this is civic.
Oh.
It's in my
It's
interest.
because we give him that rules.
No,
That's
that's not
the
the
point about the film festival, you know, it's about the film festival. Anyway.
Okay, anybody got anything to say, or shall we move to a vote? Damien?
Are there any declarations from people in the room about the film festival? And any personal
Only
declarations?
Andy, I think.
Yeah, I did.
Okay. You made a declaration about the film festival.
I made a
I
declaration.
think it was done before we arrived.
Do you not leave the room, that's all? The way it is.
Oh, yeah.
When is Harry left? Because he's got a declaration.
No, I think I was.
You don't have to leave. Declaration is a declaration. Rules.
Okay, so shall we move to a vote on that? All those in favour of giving this money to the film festival?
It comes to the civic, we have to support the civic.
You could kick him, didn't you?
It's a script.
That's everybody but Donna, Jen.
I'm abstaining, Jen, so you don't need to.
So that's carried, and Sarah can come back in.
Any consideration, hang on, any consideration about a rolling grant?
Oh yeah, yes. Do we want to vote for them to be a rolling grant?
Sorry, Sarah. Sorry, Sarah.
Standing in the corridor.
Think of it as steps.
I'm going to do 15,000 a day. That'd be great.
Right. All those in favour of it being a rolling grant?
Not comfortable with that.
So I've got councillors Bailey, Kirkby, Morgan, Osborne, Holmes, Wilson, Blacker, Collin. Have I missed anyone?
No, not Wilson.
Sorry?
All those against?
Have you got, is that 7, John?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
All those against? None. Abstentions? You can't vote, you didn't hear the discussion. Abstentions?
Okay.
It's 3, there was 2.
So is it councillor Lyles, Barnett, Brooke and Bellamy?
Thank you.
I'm not sorry, I'll come outside it and joking.
The grant for Home Valley Crystal Nest, 1,280 for therapy for SEND children. Any comments? Joe?
As a child, as a parent of a SEND child, not in care, please. There is not a lot of things for SEND children. I think this is quite a niche opportunity to support parents who are struggling in that area within the Home Valley. So I would like to support this. It's alternative, you know what I mean? It's a bit alternative and a bit different. And it, you know, I think it's quite a nice opportunity.
I was going to say the same. I'm not a parent of a centre trial.
You can have mine if you want.
That's very generous of you.
One I'll have to decline, no thank you. And it's sparked a new business as well, because obviously they haven't put in their accounts, it's a new starter. I've been into the shop and stuff, not a little shop.
Okay, any further comments before Lawrence?
I think, following on from what Harry just said, actually, we have in the past had some reservations about supporting businesses to provide things, you know, and it is a private business. That's not a comment about what they're doing in terms of this project. You know, I think it's good. And I've also been in and had a chat with the lady some time ago, like they're thinking, but I'm just making that observation.
We're always very careful about business because sometimes we do and sometimes we don't, because some businesses are clearly not as altruistic as they position themselves. But we do, for instance, give to Fair and Funny.
Yeah. And fair trade.
And so I don't think they're ruled out simply by being a business. We need to consider, when we consider this, whether we consider them a genuine community business, because some CICs are on the borderline of frankly being commercial. Donna?
Yeah, I'd like to support this as well. I mean, I haven't got a SEND child, I have a child who's grown up, but obviously as a foster family member I deal a lot with children that are from SEND. Just on the business thing, we support business associations and that sort of thing as well, so I don't
That's
think,
not quite the same thing.
well that's what I mean, but I don't think that's relevant, to be honest.
Just to fill you in, Donna, because it was the previous council, we had a lengthy discussion about community interest companies and how some of them are well dodgy and some of them are fantastic.
There's a lot of them that are dodgy.
And that was why all of these comments came up. All those in favour of giving this grant?
So I've got councillors Kirkby, Bellamy, Brooke, Lyles, Bailey, Davis, Wilson, Colling and Barnett. Have we got anyone?
All those against? Abstentions? Put your hands up so Jen can see them. So you're not voting at all?
I feel I should have spoken before, but I do not feel that this matches our criteria, so I realise I missed the opportunity to speak against it.
Right, so abstentions, I've got councillor Morgan, Whitelaw and Blacker.
Okay, so that's carried. Next, do you need to leave, Andy? Oh no, it's the Mulldale Warblers. Oh God, they're all onomatopoeic here. It's the Mulldale Warblers first. 1,070 towards setting up a community choir.
Can I say that I would like to support this application because singing is a very good musical outlet for lots of people of lots of abilities. Physically, mentally, it's very good for people to sing. So I think that we should approve it.
Okay, any other comments? Andy, then Jenny.
Yeah, it's only for setup costs, which I think is quite positive, to get linking from other sources, and no previous grants, no reserves, and it's a good community initiative.
It is, it's
Okay. Jenny?
I'd like to suggest that we don't give them the full amount, because in fact I'm trying to sort of think that it is like lots of other singing groups, and there are many in the valley, survive without any external funding, with contributions for the people who go, that most people, you know, if you go in the Scouts or singing group, you pay a contribution on the occasion. And I don't think this it's not those in greatest need, you know. I mean, I do think singing is a lovely activity and I wish I could do it, but I don't think it fits our criteria.
But
And it
we
really
give it
Joe?
upsetting me that we're not always conscious of that.
Did I have another hand? Did you have your hand up? No. Anybody else want to speak? Do you want to speak again?
Yes, we've given to the New Mill Male Choir, we've given to lots of singing groups. We can't just give to some groups and then not this group.
Yes, we can.
I think we'll just move to a vote. All those in favour?
Sorry, can we introduce?
Sorry, hold it, wait, Jen.
Sorry, I did suggest that we give them less. I didn't
All right,
suggest
we'll
we
vote
give
on the
them
amendment.
so
How
that we
much less?
actually
What are
gave
you
them-
proposing?
I'm just looking at half seems reasonable to me.
All, do we have a seconder for giving only half?
Yeah, me.
Yeah. All those in favour of giving half? Have you got 4?
I've got councillor Morgan, councillor Whitelaw, Bailey and Holmes.
Yeah,
Correct.
That's it.
Yeah.
So that, all those against giving half? We don't need this to be named. We can be named on the actual vote. I think.
Okay.
Now we'll vote. Those in favour of giving the full grant, I'd like this named.
So I've got councillors Kirkby, Bellamy, Brooke, Lyles, Davis, Barnett, Wilson, Blacker and Colling.
Thank you, that's carried.
Well, actually did it again
If it's a recording, you've got to
Oh,
do it again.
sorry. One, two, it's Whitelaw and Holmes.
Abstentions?
Abstentions.
I've got councillors Bailey, Osborne and Morgan.
Thank you. Sorry. So from warblers to hurricanes.
I am there.
Is everybody?
We could.
I did incorrectly say we were playing that back on this little garden.
Okay, does anybody have anything to say about the hurricanes and the application? Should we go straight to a vote? Okay, all those in favour of giving the...
Sorry, we have to say, that it is, are these dresses like kids on outfits, as it were?
Yeah.
We have said against that.
Not children.
Not for children, it's adult.
Okay.
Okay, all those in favour? I think that's unanimous.
Yeah.
Okay,
Andy.
Andy? The next one is the Nest. Room hire for parent baby sessions.
Probably worth saying that they gave us back quite a lot of money for it on the previous grant that we didn't need, so
Right.
you know, they are, we've got to be grateful when they get everything they get.
They're honest, we know they're honest.
Several hundred quid.
Donna then Andy.
Just on that, yeah, they gave us this money back before because they hadn't used it, and that's the bit that sort of makes me a bit...
No, they haven't used it because somebody worked for free.
Right, but that's what then makes me uneasy on this one a bit, because then we just
Well,
giving it back for them to give it us back again.
At least we know if they don't need it, they give it back.
Well, yeah, but that's just my thought.
Andy?
Can I just point out that the tech are beneficiaries of this? So people with links to the tech.
Should probably
Yeah.
Okay.
If they're an independent unit within the tech,
You're just hiring them.
we're just hiring them really.
Yeah, but
Tech
we,
benefit.
Andy had to declare.
That's why I was counting that you needed to do that before, anyway, to be honest.
Anyway, for this meeting, we can have a phone, but we better stick to what we've done. and
Well,
we'll
so
take
long
people
as
about-
we stick to the criteria which we judge them, which I'm not sure we always have been doing, that we've set priorities for how they should be judged. And if they meet these
Sorry,
criteria-
Jenny, you're not allowed to speak on it, you've got to leave the room.
I'm speaking generally that
Right.
we should apply the criteria that we've set and the priorities that we've set as a group to all the grant applications.
You look all right.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah. Very good.
Well, I think we'll look at this room, this is getting ridiculous. Okay. Shall we move straight to a vote? Does anybody have anything to say? Does anybody have anything to say? No. Yeah, Councillor.
Probably just what you might expect me to say. I mean, I think this is irrespective of wherever they hold their meetings. This is a group which is doing incredible work really, and there isn't much support for new parents here, and I think it's absolutely excellent provision which isn't provided anywhere else. So I think again it's a question of looking at the project rather than where they happen to operate.
Okay, anybody want to speak? Okay, all those in favour?
Everybody apart from me, Jess. And
got councillors Morgan, Kirkby, Davis, Lyles, Brooke, Osborne, Wilson, Blacker, Collin and Barnett.
Yeah, all those against? Abstentions? Just the one, councillor Byrne.
Sarah? Hello?
Just before you settle down, where do past tourisms hold their meetings?
I do.
Are we going to have the same issue? I don't know. All right. Okay. It was approved. That brings us on to past truisms and money for Yorkshire dialect classes.
Can't we just go with the hands like?
It's a different language over there.
Absolutely not.
I'm trying to be neutral here. I'm trying to see that dialect is as important as singing. Right, we've got several speakers. We've got Isaac and Jenny to speak and Lawrence. Isaac.
I'm a bit torn, but I'm more against this because they don't say the specific number of how many people still speak the dialect, because it's not like the Cornish language, the Scottish, Gaelic, the Welsh.
Be careful, Isaac.
I'm just saying.
Careful.
I'm just saying.
Someone from Yorkshire, you shouldn't be commenting.
But I'm just saying, if they said a specific figure of how many still speak the true dialects, then I would have support this.
Okay.
But
Take your point.
get the point.
Jenny, you wanted to speak?
Just according to our criteria, it does protect and enhance the local heritage.
You're right, it does. It
And we should be sticking to
sits
that.
right in the middle of that.
Yeah.
There's no Yorkshire folk left in them for
We've got Lawrence then Sarah.
So, being an expert on this subject, I'm going to take that. I'm going to. That's right. Firstly, I agree about the heritage thing, and I would like to, follow this up and try and draw them into our heritage projects and so on. I couldn't see, unless I missed it, I couldn't see where anyone was actually paying any subs to go along to this. I can't see any income from the people taking part.
Oh, right. I looked at that. I
Now,
read
I
it
may
so
have
long
missed
ago.
it.
I can't
I
remember.
may have
Can
missed
you?
it, but I haven't seen it.
We'll have a quick look.
No, I was having a look through there. No, other stuff. See if there's anything on that.
It's all costs.
No, that's right. Yeah, they might be, but.
Oh, they've got a speaker.
Sorry?
They've got a speaker.
It's a speaker.
Yeah, they're paying the speaker.
Yeah, that's what you
There's
said.
nobody paying to go to the classes.
Oh,
as far as I
there's
can
no
see.
contribution from subs.
Yeah, they may be, but. you
Are
know,
they charging a fee for it is essentially what you're asking.
Yes,
isn't
and
it?
I would expect that to
Yeah.
happen, to be honest.
Even if it's a small.
Well, they have got 840
Andy, while we're waiting for Rich to search through this income paperwork.
You'd have to say it's very much a niche offering, this.
But it's a small amount of money.
I would have thought it was low impact in the community, but I take point, it's actually quite low cost as well. You would hope that they would have accepted some contribution from people attending.
Well, we're just checking to see if they will. Councillor Blackwood, hang on. Hang on. Mary's next.
One of the good things about it is it's from age 14 upwards, and it'd be quite reasonable not to ask young people to pay. And I think in a way that, it is a niche thing, but the dialect is really just a hook to hang other things on, and it's about combating isolation, about learning about local history in the area in general. So I think it's an unusual, a brilliant thing, and I really like the intergenerational aspect of it too.
Certainly different. Joe, then Donna.
As a person whose parents come from Cheshire and not from Yorkshire, and whose parents sent me to private school so I didn't sound like this, which I think will say, I would like to say that until I moved to Home Faith, I didn't know what a back of the wall was. So I do believe that, yeah, we should approve it really. 400, I'll tell you in a minute, £415 is fine, I think we should approve it.
Donna?
Yeah, I was going to just say, you know, something about nail-ups and
Yeah.
all the rest of it. It is quite niche, I agree with that. But it's not...
a tiny sum.
It's a tiny sum, yeah. Well, we're going to say, you know, I don't know how much book you're getting for your pounds and all the rest of it. And maybe folk will learn about what the difference between a ginnel and a snippet is, and
let's not go down that path. We can pursue this after the meeting.
yeah, don't go down that alley.
Damien.
Yeah, can I suggest that nobody who was speaking Yorkshire would pay to go to the event anyway? I'm sorry if it's tight-fisted. I'm one of them, so I mean, I do think it's probably worth a shot for a one-time round to see how they get on with it. I'm going to
announce a change in procedure here, so I'd like all those in favour to say, by God. Okay, all those in favour.
Well, it certainly doesn't mention it.
But it does say 75
I think it's all but Isaac.
I'm just abstaining.
No, I'm abstaining.
Oh no, two abstentions.
Okay.
Is that because you
just need to put
I'm
your
not-
silver ring.
Equality, I must see
Find out how long to go.
So just councillors Barnett and Bailey and abstaining.
Abstaining.
Yes, darling.
Yeah, I have it, the nays bill.
Okay, community village. Come on, children. Yeah.
Well, share it with
We're getting giggly, and we're nearly done, so hang on. Honley Community Trust, Halloween and Christmas parties. Again, this is one we might consider as a rolling grant, because the Christmas party and the parties come up time and again. But we'll deal with it as a grant as it stands at the moment. And I assume people aren't, well, does anybody want to speak to this?
Can I just say that every year we give them money for decorations for Christmas and Halloween, and they never recycle them, and we have this conversation every year.
No, it says in here that they are recycling them in their grant application.
Yeah.
It does say that they will reuse some.
And then that was the Friends of Honley, not the Honley Community Trust.
Right.
This is the Honley Community Trust, the village hall essentially.
Oh,
Yeah.
Magdale, well, it's Magdale as well. But. So all those in favour of being 380 for the children's party? That's unanimous. All those in favour of making this a rolling grant? That seems to be unanimous as well.
I don't think we're going to start cancelling Halloween and Christmas.
Okay.
Not yet, anyway.
Friends of Honley Library, as you know, they're constantly upgrading. They've put in new windows, which look fabulous, and they're glazed, so that will make a difference. And they want to do further improvements. They're still working on the grant for the extension. It's looking, they've got a new plan for a smaller extension now. And they're very close to the whole money for that, so all those, does anybody want to speak to this? Sorry. Okay, all those in favour of 1,500 for Honley Library? 15,000 for Honley Library.
No, it's all right.
This is the EMR, isn't it?
Right. I was thinking about this.
Jamie, put your hand up because the gun's not counting.
Can you keep your hands up?
She your knee that's damaged, not your elbow.
Very true.
So I've got councillors Davis, Osborne, Holmes, Wilson, Blacker, Bellamy, Lyles, Brooks, Whitehall, Bailey, Barnett and Collins.
Yeah. All those against? Abstentions? That's carried. Rolling grant. The patient transport thing.
Can I say something about this? Because I did some research on it last year, didn't I? So this Home Valley Transport thing, and I'm not associated with it, it's just what we did last year, but some people are in the room that weren't in the room last year, so I'll just give you this information. So the Home Valley Transport people are like a volunteer group that just asks for a little bit of money, and anybody, including people at ADF who struggle to get on the bus, can phone the doctors and organise for the doctors to organise some transport to the doctors. So it is an absolutely invaluable service, and they are brilliant, and I can't recommend them highly enough.
Anybody want to speak? No? All those in favour? I think that's unanimous. Yeah. Right. We've done it. Got there. Grants working group is still working.
The next meeting is the 1st of October. It's got a lot to do now.
The next meeting is the 1st.
Can I check with Jen, we've got the similar figures?
Right, I've not added on that Home Valley Transport one.
Okay,
Because
that's a thousand,
yeah,
that's a thousand.
yeah. So the assets, 13,358. And events and projects, £10,653.50.
Right, I'll have to check because I'm doing it negatively rather than.
Okay, which brings us to chair's expenses. We note that nothing's been spent yet.
Well done, Glenn.
Thank you. I have actually spent some, but that won't come through to me.
The AGAR. Can you talk to us about
Yeah,
the
very briefly, yeah. So we did get a reply from the external auditor who did find a fault, which I queried with him, but I can't quite work out what she's trying to say to me. So she basically said that we should have restated last year's asset figure on the AGAR. She says we haven't done it, but it's there, so I'm not quite sure what she's talking about. So I'm waiting for a reply from them.
Right. So it may or may not be a criticism, depending on whatever.
Indeed.
Thank you. Schedule of payments. Do you need Rich to explain them to you, or shall we move to a vote on approving the draft schedule for the payments for July and August?
So you just note.
Noting July and August, we need to approve September. All those in favour of approving September? That's unanimous.
Okay, thank you very much.
Financial statements.
These I wouldn't suggest I need to talk a lot to these. I'll talk more when we're talking about the actual budget against, the year to date against budgets and the earmark reserves.
Okay.
Unless anybody's got any actual questions about any of this paperwork.
I take it you haven't.
Well done, Rich.
No.
You should be noting.
Yeah.
I don't think so. No.
Then the next one is bank reconciliations, that whole batch for July and August.
I did realise as well that I didn't redact some of the bank statements. So if you notice that I haven't redacted something, will you let me know? Because it's obviously a bit dodgy from sharing.
Yeah. Okay. Are you content to approve the bank reconciliations? All those in favour?
Did everybody look?
No, we all think Rich was an excellent.
Review the income and expenditure.
Yeah, as of written, there isn't an awful lot to say. You know, the only new things I could really say were the toilet donations were a little bit up. The rents are obviously going to go down. Office expenditure is going to be a bit up. I think partly that's to do with because we've got a new contract for our photocopier, and so we originally had like a 20. So we used to have a minimum cost of £25 a month, but it's gone up to, they've put it up to £50 a month now. So they've doubled that, and they've also put in some other sort of extra fees that we didn't have before. So it probably means that when we do look at a new contract, we look at somebody else.
Okay. Does anybody feel there are further actions to be taken? No? We will move on. We will note. Do you want to talk about earmarked reserves?
Yeah, I did have a few things to say. It wasn't anything particularly earth-shattering. I was just making the point that so last month we spent from 3 earmarked reserves. We replaced one pad on a defibrillator which was used, and we spent £3,500 on the rolling grants that we already approved, which was things like the folk festival, the arts festival, and something else which escapes me. And we spent on the 2 waste bins as well. So that's why that's the only expenditure from earmarked reserves last month, and we closed the design code earmarked reserve as well.
Okay. Do we consider Lawrence?
I'm just checking that this doesn't include the rolling grants for the Christmas trees to the local communities, does it?
They are in that pot, but it's not been spent yet. No.
Right, because I'd be interested in having a conversation about that, even though we talked about it as service provision. But if it's not coming up for voting at this point, then I'll leave that for now.
Yeah, I mean, I am aware that it did cause. Obviously we've gone to a new. We're going to have to go to a new supplier, aren't we? There's problems with the tree.
I think there's a few things, and I think we also, we need to look at the totals that we've got because we may be over budget, and there's some discussion to be had there. I think.
Because part of the problem last year was that I deducted the VAT from some of the grant awards we made because we could just reclaim that back. You see, so that's going to potentially cause problems if we go to a tree supplier who doesn't charge that with them. So there's various things anyway.
Most tree suppliers do charge that because they are agriculture. So
I'm just making the point that I don't know, and it's something we need to deal with.
Okay.
But yeah, okay.
For those of you who aren't or weren't at service provision, we've got to get a new supplier for the trees, and that's largely what this is about. Any further actions on earmarked reserves? No.
I don't think so.
The civic. To note the reports from the civic. Do you want to say anything about the civic, Andy, or not?
Do you want me to give an update on? I did a service provision of whatever, the local council or something on where we are with the police. You want?
Yeah.
Well, the side letter's now almost complete, apart from one tiny bit, which Jen's going to talk to Rich about. And we're moving forward to finalising that. So it's all progressing well. I must thank the clerk and all the other members and the trust for all the work they've done. So I'm fairly confident we're now close to having everything in place, and hopefully we should be on with the lease very soon.
Great, thank you. Thank you for all your work on that.
It's been fun. I've enjoyed it actually.
So
It's probably just worth noting that this won't have any effect until the next financial year.
Yeah.
So for this current financial year, we are where we are.
Yes.
And I think as most people know, it's very tight, but the finances are showing a very slight surplus.
Good.
Which will be the first result.
Good name. I mean,
We're
this
not there yet.
is such an exciting time for the Civic. It's a pity it's sort of blighted by some ill feeling and mistrust, because it's a really exciting time for the Civic right now. It's the beginning of really good stuff.
I just say that I don't think there is much ill feeling. I think that is being worked on, and we should be working well with the trustees. You know, so certainly in my relationships with them, it's been good. What I was going to say, I wanted to ask a question really about the vision. You know, the vision exercise that we had with the architects. So how there wasn't much furtherance of that about how they're moving forward with that.
We haven't had any update yet.
Okay.
We're now waiting for the architects to come back to us with their interpretation of what we talked about at that event.
Okay, and have you any idea when that will come?
I don't know.
Okay.
I can follow it up at the next meeting. So.
Okay, but we have invited Alex to come and join us for the big community celebration, to come to the next planning meeting, and he's just trying to get back to us with a date for that. So I think that's moving forward with that partnership in a fairly positive way.
Good, excellent.
Can I make the point? You know, the information I've been getting from them has been getting much better. You know, there's lots of different financial records, projections, year dates. So it's
Right. So it's all moving forward as we were hoping it would. That's great. Mary?
Could I just ask, in the notes of the meeting on the 4th of September, trustees meeting, under the visioning, there's a statement about discussion around the ideas and requirements of the parish council, and to ensure their needs are met, it was agreed that I guess that's the parish council, need to have clear requirements as a council. So are the trustees wanting something more from the parish council, in terms of more detail about what the ideas are? What does that sentences mean?
I could answer that. I think it was on a specific item where there was a suggestion that the officers might want some presence downstairs, and Jen, you may know more about this. Presence downstairs, whether it's in the form of a notice board or actually office space down there. So I think that was what was behind it.
Right.
And all the trustees were saying was, we need to get a bit more information about.
I think this may have arisen from ideas that came out of think tank and the architect session of if the whole downstairs were to be reconfigured and the whole entrance altered, would it be sensible to put all the staff together down there so that whenever somebody walked in they could see a person?
I think there was a suggestion that there might just be a notice board, for instance. They might have one outside, something in the lobby. But as trustees, that we didn't really know where that had arisen and
No, I don't either.
But I think it certainly did cover that visionary meeting.
The one with the architect.
Yes, yeah. But in the grand scheme of things, to have, as you said, welcomed by the parish council, the parish council being more noticeable to the public and sharing an office similar to in Saddleworth,
But it wasn't a recommendation.
But we also said in the community engagement group, didn't we, that we, in the short term, to actually make people aware when they're downstairs and they come in, that the parish council is actually upstairs here, because so many people are still unaware of that. So I know Gemma's been talking about at least having a table and a notice to point people upstairs. So there's a short-term plan, but we probably need to discuss this and agree it as a council, or whether you want to, that these things have been aired, I know, in several different
But I mean,
places.
the idea of putting the staff together was not a recommendation, it was one of several thoughts people had, saying, well, if it's going to be that shape, it would be possible. There's been no consultation with our clerical team. But it was just one of numerous ideas. Sarah?
In the notes that Mary was referring to, the question about the needs of the parish council, was that taken to mean physical needs rather than requirements of the parish council in relation to our relationship with the civic and
No,
the
it's just
trustees?
physical needs.
So it's about physical
And
things.
I understand now that it's where it sort of originated. I think
in several different.
I think the trustees were unaware of that, let's put it that way.
Okay. Yeah.
And maybe that needs firming up a bit more. If it is a proposal, go back to the trustees and say, this is what we're thinking about.
Yeah, but we need to come to an agreement as a council before we can go back to that, so I don't know when we should put that on.
Well, I
the
think
agenda.
we need to see what the architects come back with, because it may be they come back with something everybody goes, fantastic, and agrees on the
But
percent.
we've got two things, we've got both the short term and the long term architectural transformation of the parish hall, so there are two things to be considered.
So will this all come back to full council?
Or what?
Well, I think it's an important issue, so let's discuss.
How we work with it and all of that. So what I suppose what I'm asking is what part of the council is dealing with our relationship with the trustees and where we want things to go and that discussion and building a relationship, continuing to and all of that.
Andy, then Laurie.
Could I suggest this specific requirement of something down in the lobby?
Yes.
Perhaps it ought to be put to the next full council as to whether we actually want to do that, what it might look like.
Well, we can certainly put the short-term thing to the next
Yes.
full council.
The bigger picture, I think.
Usually with these things, we do the work in the committee that has responsibility and then puts a proposal to the full council.
Yeah.
This is the committee F&N that is dealing with the civic now. So if we're going to have a debate about it, I think that should happen in this, not necessarily tonight, but that should happen in this committee.
Well, definitely.
And then take a firm proposal through to full council.
Okay, so, well, the next F&M meeting will be the budget meeting, will it not?
Yeah.
So that, it isn't appropriate to have it then. The meeting after that. Yeah, on the agenda. Thank you.
It's going to be a long time before it gets to full council, isn't it?
Or can we set up a working party to put forward a proposal?
We could, if we can find anybody. I hesitate to rain on your parade, Jenny, but I'm not sure there'll be many people wanting to be part of another working party. Jo.
Can I just suggest that we carry on with the existing group that's working with the trustees and then see where it comes to, because we don't know if we're going to have room for anybody downstairs, we don't know whether the roof's going to collapse and we might not even have a building next week, we don't know anything yet, so maybe we should just wait for the outcome.
I think to take it to full council before there's been a meeting with feedback from the architects is a bit of a waste of full council. Well, or even it coming back to this meeting. I mean, we can agree something like a notice board, very simply.
Notice board on the table, I mean, at the moment, when you come in, there is no recognition that the parish council exists up here. So the parish council leaflets are in one tiny corner of a whole table with civic activities that are happening. And I think for the building that we own, that is very nominal and insignificant.
Outside, isn't there?
There is a notice board outside, yeah, there is, but I think a lot of people don't even recognise that this, because we've also got a notice board like that outside the toilets, but we don't meet in the toilets. You know, so I think people honestly don't know that we exist up here. So I think having information about what parish council does downstairs in the foyer where people come in, it's just a worthwhile thing to do.
Okay, Councillor Blacker.
I think the issue of the notice board can probably be solved really quickly, and I mean, I think it's important it is, but I think this is a much bigger issue. There's a much bigger issue here, isn't there? And I agree with what Pat has just said. I mean, there's no point in us doing much planning or much visioning, whatever, until we've heard back from the architect. But once we've heard back from the architect, then I think we do need to spend a decent amount of time.
And
Actually,
we
This
may
is
even need to
absolutely
call a
crucial.
special
We may
meeting,
need to call a
an
special
extraordinary
meeting.
meeting for that, possibly, yeah.
Yeah.
Where we can have the whole meeting to talk about it, that would make sense, I think. Notice board, if people here agree, I think we can progress, getting a bit more space and a notice board. Do we all agree we should have a bit more space and a notice board? All those in favour?
Can I just ask though, if we put the notice board on a wall that ends up coming down, will it be a waste of a notice board? I'm just asking.
Yeah, but in the meantime, people know where we are.
I mean, if we can have a pull-up pattern, you know, we can have something that directs people upstairs. You know, there's a little photocopied thing at the bottom of the stairs that is so easily missed. I mean, I just think the parish council should be accessible to the public. I think we should know that we're here. And if we are owners of this building, then I think we should make our presence felt a little bit more, in a positive way.
Can I ask the clerical team to look at what could be possible?
I know
What would be involved?
Sorry, I know that Gemma's been trying to have this discussion with Dawn, and I think she needs permission to move forward with that.
Do we all agree Jen should continue her discussions or progress her discussions with, yes, Jen?
I am away from Thursday. I will be emailing everyone about the fact I'm having my total knee replacement.
So you don't want extra people at the stairs anyway, in the very short term.
I'm just making sure that everyone's aware of that.
When it is possible, can you progress that with Dawn and we'll work out a solution?
Can Gemma progress it?
It is communications, so Gemma's been the one that's been wanting it.
Okay.
Please can we vote that somebody talks to somebody about
Gemma and the communications working group to progress making us more conspicuous downstairs.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
I think we should have one of them global men that wear
I'll like a cigarette that you all over. Okay, we're well behind. I think we need to really get a move on. We are well behind it.
You're letting the side down and not going
Okay, Honley Library. Are there any further actions people feel we need to in our engagement with the library? No? Right. VAT?
Yeah, just, I don't know, this was a bit of a strange one this. I know, if you remember the last meeting, I was meant to be going to HMRC and offering them some money to pay back the fact we owed on garages. However, looking into it, I wasn't 100% sure that we even needed to pay it. So we're in a bit of a weird position. I think if I'd managed to get feedback from all the garage tenants about what they use the garages for, I might have had a clear idea. But only 2 eventually replied. So all I've got is one who's using it as a garage and one who's not. So I'm a bit snookered.
Andy, then Joe.
I suggest we cut to the end and just remove the word garage.
Yes. Yeah.
We can do that, but I just wondered what we owe them to date. Do we need to pay them the VAT for the last 4 years?
Can I just say that you, from the moment you charge, the moment you start claiming VAT is the moment you have to pay that from. So if you charge them something, up until the point that you are VAT registered, you can only charge VAT. Before that point, so say for example it was April this year, you can't.
So you're saying that if we charge them VAT for for the garages to date, that we must be liable going forward.
Yeah, but if you haven't charged that, so it's from the moment you register.
So it's best if we ignore that, remove the word garage and just have it as storage units that they can choose to park a car in if they want or not.
Yeah, right. And because you provide a service, you do have to charge that, but only from the point. And if you pay for repairs on the building, then that makes it valuable. If you don't pay for repairs on the building, it doesn't make it valuable.
We don't pay for repairs on the building.
No, yeah, but you do still have to charge that as a service, so it's still 20% from the point you became
Sure.
registered. There's the answer.
Okay, thank you. And then the second part of that?
Yeah, the other back bit, I mean, I did share this at council, but I thought I'd sort of put it out in a bit more detail, that we should be able to claim back all the VAT that we're going to incur in terms of the civic and the toilets. The civic, we could charge VAT on the civic, but we chose not to when we basically charged them. And because of that, it becomes an exempt business activity. Now, those of us who were here when the VAT specialist came, laid out the situation, which if we claim back less than £7,500 on this exempt business activity, we can get it back essentially. If it goes above £7,500, we owe all of it. So I think I'm gonna have to monitor this throughout the entire year, and I'll have to be quite careful about it. But I'm pretty sure we should be able to reclaim all the VAT on, for example, the visioning document for here, the solar panels and various other things to do with the toilets. I'm quite optimistic that we're going to be able to claim a lot of that back.
Okay, thank you. Tenancies. Yeah, we need to move standing orders to go on after 9 o'clock. All those in favour? Tenancies.
Just where we are with these weeks. So we've had all the money for the garages, we've had all the tenancies, we've returned them all. With regard to the allotments, I'm chasing people to return their tenancies. I think I've had another 2 since I've got back from holiday. So we may be reaching a point where we've got them nearly all back. So I don't think there's anything other to do than for me just to keep chasing them, to be honest.
Can I ask a question? If memory serves, the tenancy agreements on allotments was modified to include not using
pesticides.
I just wonder whether that might be a factor. But you
I
can't
don't think
know.
so. I don't think so. I think
I was
it's
just sort of checking that is now the case.
Yeah, I think we gave them the option of paying directly into the bank. In the previous years, they've paid using cheque, and then it's therefore been easy. They've just sent the cheque and they've sent the return the lease at the same time. But now they've got 2 things, and they're just forgetting, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, thank you. We note that Councillor Green will do the internal controls in October. Banking, anything we need, given that we're time short?
Just that we're getting hassled by Waldale Electrical about paying for the solar panels, so I will be circulating payments for the authorisation tomorrow. If 2 of you could pay them quite quickly, because they're being a bit...
Well, I can do it tonight if you want.
No, I haven't set them up yet, so...
Okay, CCLA, nothing we need to do. Climate action, ways in which, well, we've touched on this quite a lot tonight, and we'll make sure it's publicised. And I think tonight's been quite a good example of our making sure we're aware of it all the time. Sarah?
I just wonder whether in our guidance and things that we might say something about when it involves printing, that we ask people to use recycled materials, and the sort of carbon neutral type of materials and all of that sort of stuff. We make it explicit in our guidance. Maybe it's there sufficiently already, but that sort of cross-checking when we're looking at grant applications.
Financial records, the website, they've been added, and publishing the work, publicising the work of the council. Anything in tonight that we particularly want to publish? I mean,
Well, I would
looking
like
for all
to-
of these grants.
I would like to put speed cameras there, but obviously not.
What was that?
Oh, yes, I think other councillors would have liked to support the class in the tech. So we're even Stevens on it. Thank you very much.